drink. I'm thirsty.
Well, we're already live.
That's fair. We are already live. God,
There's always
Surge is
time.
so fucking itchy. I haven't washed this shit yet still. And I haven't worn it enough, so it's still
It's
for some
always gonna
reason.
be itchy.
I wear a lot of wool, but for some reason, the British Surge material shit.
Dude, you can wash it a billion times. It's not
Yeah.
gonna fucking
But it's I wear wool that people consider itchy all the time, but it's still nothing compared to Surge. Surge is off the charts.
Dude, World War One U.S. uniforms were Surge, and it's awful.
It's horrible shit. It's like wearing fucking fiberglass. It's like wearing fiberglass.
Yeah. The insulation. It's like wearing insulation.
Yeah, exactly.
More coarse.
It itches so fucking bad, but I'm glad I have an original set in my size from the 50s. So
yeah,
Mr. Krabs.
It was his hat, Mr. Krabs. He was number one.
Oh,
I know you don't get that, but all the SpongeBob fans.
That's the one with the cap with the drinking thing on the sides that he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen.
Yeah, Jaegerman. Yeah, and he grabs the swordfish skeleton's head and he sword fights his way out of the graveyard. Yeah. So I know that. I've been watching SpongeBob. I'm aware.
You've actually been watching SpongeBob?
I've been watching some of it, yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yes, I do. Considering
we don't want to keep on the topic of the night, though. You have to identify.
Yeah, you have to identify what we're wearing. Mine should be blatantly easy.
You're wearing a PLA uniform.
That's right.
So, a little bit of a flex, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I don't have mine on yet. I have them. I just haven't stitched them on yet. So. Did they have any cool insignia for your guys' hats and stuff like that too?
People put them on, but not much.
There wasn't regulations for it or anything.
There probably were, but again, U.S. guys regulations.
Well, also nobody freaking cared during that.
When you're out in the field and all that shit, very few people give a fuck.
Yeah, by the end of it, what I'm wearing was basically gone, and you would see, the Canadians wearing what you're wearing, basically.
Yeah, the HBTs, of course. Yeah.
So just gone because everything they had was so effed and they couldn't ship it there for whatever reason. So what can you do? But that's probably nice because you know what? Surge kind of blows, especially in the summer.
Yeah, but in the winter, it's a little bit better than what we had.
True, and I have an original greatcoat too, like a 1952 dated greatcoat. So.
Yeah, that's the thing is the U.S. was actually pretty advanced on their winter wear, going away from the greatcoat that weighs 12 pounds.
Yeah.
And going to some padded, quilted fucking field jacket and padded quilted pants.
Yeah. Well, it was still Canadian doctrine at the time that was also your sleeping bag, basically. So same thing with the British. Your greatcoat was basically it was your ground mat in the summer. It was your sleeping bag in the winter. It was also your
Well, same with the French.
Inflation. Yeah.
Same with the French. World War I on.
Yeah.
Your greatcoat is everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it to be fair, it works fantastic for that. So, and these
are in a mild climate. Korea is not a mild climate. Korea is here.
That's why this one is called the Korean model. It is an extra thick layer of felted wool, and then it is quilted on the inside.
Yeah.
So it's heavy. Things probably 15, 16 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's a nightmare to carry. So it's as large rolled up as the field pack is. It's that big. So
well, yeah, because I know. I mean, you see in the the Chosen Reservoir, like all the pictures, the U.S. guys are still wearing greatcoats.
Yeah.
And because it's like, well, the idea is let's make it smaller. But it's gonna take 5 years to fucking,
get them made and approved and sent out. Yeah.
Well, it was already approved, but it was like it took so long to actually have it manufactured, sent to Korea. By the time they got there, it was like 1953, and the thing was over.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well,
so they had all those like World War II ones too, didn't they? That the like field jackets that had the liners. What's it called? I don't know what the model is, but like they had a lot of those too, but they sucked.
The liners on those were not really the liners. Those were made for like a week ago's weather, where it's like 60 degrees.
And didn't the like fishtail come out in Korea?
51, yeah.
Yeah, the fishtail parka.
But by the time it actually got to the troops, the war was already almost over.
Pretty much gone, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they came up with all these ideas of like, what do we need? What do we? What would make sense? Oh, this, and this. Okay, yeah, let's fucking do it.
Mickey Mouse boots there pretty quick, to be fair.
Again,
those came out in Korea.
Yeah, again, 53. All this shit that you think of. Yeah, it was
I know they didn't come out and they didn't get designed until like 52, so it makes sense they didn't get there till basically the end.
Dude, most of the good shit, they were literally wearing leftover shit besides the flak jackets. Well, even the flak jackets were a very late 52 and 53 thing in certain units that could afford, or not afford them, but like got them.
Yeah.
All of this like winter coat technology and all that shit was like 53. It was
well, if we're going off that, I'd much rather be for as much how much stuff the U.S. supplied to everybody that went there, because there was like 50 damn fucking countries involved.
Yeah.
I would much rather be somebody who's not in the United States military at that point, I guess. I'd rather have the fucking 16-pound greatcoat. That fucker's warm.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Korea was really fucked up.
Korea was fucked, yeah. Everyone got caught with their pants down. It's the cusp of a whole bunch of new technology, the dawn of a new era, basically, in warfare. And yeah,
and it's like I'll be covering that on my channel, but like the air warfare alone. So the North Koreans had a few propeller planes.
Yeah.
When the Chinese crossed, they had a bunch of propeller planes. They outnumbered the U.S. But the U.S. had jets.
I was gonna say, wasn't this the first war where there was jet on jet for the most?
Yep. And so the Chinese were like, "Fuck, well, we can't do shit." Then the Russians sent their MiGs.
Yeah, the MiGs down to test.
Then it was
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it was like, okay, the F-86 Sabre got competition now.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was a really fucking insane thing.
Yeah, it's also the first war where you see every other person has a machine gun. So
yeah, the M2 carbine.
Yeah, well, and not to mention just the more submachine guns issued much more heavily in Korea. So you see it, especially in the Commonwealth nations, not so much the United States, but
yeah.
A lot the French and the British and the Canadians and everybody issued submachine guns a lot more heavily.
You know what's fucking weird though? Is like just like actually less so than Vietnam, but like the U.S. made about 88% of the fucking forces in Korea, and it was a UN operation.
Well, yeah, this is where the United Nations first got to actually figure.
Isn't that fucking insane though? The U.S. was 88% of it.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, the Canadians had 2 fucking divisions the whole war. So I mean, 2 divisions.
A lot of the platoons and companies out of those divisions fought with the U.S. And like that's the thing is like, yeah, there were a bunch of nations involved, but they were attached to U.S. divisions.
Yeah,
they were giving U.S. shit and whatever.
The French attached to the British, the Canadians attached to the British, and
they also attached to the American. Yeah, it's like So everybody was spread out, and it's like, well, we should have known then that the UN thing wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that the U.S. is just like, we'll fucking do it, I guess.
And, well, I think they actually did learn from that, because
since then,
it's like later on, it's when they went as a UN or a NATO operation, it was like, you're French, you will fight with the French.
Yep.
You're British, you will fight with the British. You're Canadian, you will fight with the Canadians. Yep. You're American, you'll fight with the Americans. Like, they didn't try to integrate these people like they did in Korea, which is really a weird.
Korea was just like put everyone together and push them forward. So.
Yep.
And it didn't quite work out super great.
No, I mean, now, like, it's just lack of communication and fucking training, and it's fucking insane.
For sure. Well, the Canadians did pretty good. Most everybody there spoke English or French. So they're probably the only ones that didn't really have a problem. But
yeah,
those were the three biggest suppliers: were the Americans, the British, and the French, technically. So
yeah.
But
there was Turks there. There was people from Africa there.
Yeah, there was the French brought a lot of not actual French troops. They had a lot of colonials there, actually. So
right. Colombians, they actually tried. Yeah.
So I think one of the funniest stories I heard was where the French brought a whole bunch of the Indo-Chinese people up, about a bunch of the Vietnamese people to fight this guerrilla war going on in Korea and stuff like that. So, and it turns out, fun fact, turns out a lot of those people that went to Korea would be NBA officers in the Vietnam War.
Oh, weird.
So, yeah, who would have thought? But yeah. And
yeah.
The story about how the South Koreans sent troops to help the US in Vietnam too, as payback for the Korean War.
Yeah, the Rock Army and the Rock Marines, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah,
all good stuff. It's a way underplayed thing. I think there needs to be more stuff on the Korean War because it's actually one of my favorite conflicts to like read about and everything. So
every time I read about it, though, I get really fucking like down. I'm like,
I get really depressed reading about it. Yeah, it's like the first war where like even when things are going good, they're bad.
Yeah, it's just insane. Like, how stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time. Like I said, it's the first time they were trying most of that stuff. So.
Yep.
And it didn't work out a lot of the time.
Well, it's fucking funny because MacArthur wanted to nuke fucking China and
North Korea. Like, give me all the nukes to nuke China. Yeah.
And then, bam, weirdly enough, he got relieved. Which is a really fucking good call.
They really didn't want to do that at the beginning because he was considered the hero of World War II and all that crap. And that was a big counter.
Then Truman himself becomes the commander.
Yeah.
Like, that's never been done before.
For sure.
The president's like, I'm in charge now. And like, Harry fucking Truman is like a dude from Missouri. He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Well, I mean, he was a reserve artillery officer in World War I because he couldn't fucking see.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean.
But, yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. Yeah, but MacArthur wanted to turn Manchuria into just a no-life zone for the next 200 years. So.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of ground gained and lost too. The whole war, it wasn't very stalemated.
No, it was insane how it was like the American Civil War. It's like
stuff fluctuated heavily. There'd be parts that were occupied by each side like 20 times over the course of that conflict. So
right,
all over the place.
It's
scary stuff.
Yep.
But it needs to be done more for sure.
Right, and that's I'm gonna probably be doing a series on it soon.
That means I'll have to motivate myself to put all my patches on.
Yeah, because then, I'm trying to get an entire 1945 pack, like the actual landing, like the pack they would have been wearing.
Yeah.
And we got the helmet here. It just doesn't fit with the headphones. We actually got the Korean paint and the Korean chin strap. So.
There you go.
But
you got to get one of the fancy nets for it too.
No, most of the Army guys that I've seen, they didn't have nets on
Didn't
them.
have the nets, yeah, and the
Nope,
Marines
they
had
just
their frog skin and stuff. That was about it, yeah.
no frog skin was that was Marines.
Yeah, that's what I said. The Marines had their frog skin.
Oh, I thought you said okay, yeah, but yeah, no, the Army mainly was just plain.
Yeah,
a lot of them didn't even wear the liner chin strap.
Weird.
That's like really. What the fuck do you have? Maybe they tucked it in underneath to like make it stay better.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like Jesus Christ. But yeah, most of the pictures I've seen are just plain steel pots.
Yep. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, going through all those uniform changes and stuff, I'm sure that's why. Because the Korea, like the 54, 55 is when you start to see the green helmet covers for the army, and it just didn't get there in time for the war. So.
Well, when did they actually design this? Because I've seen some pictures of guys wearing. It's black and white, so I can't tell what colors, but it looks like it's got the fucking same pattern as the M1 covers.
The like green helmet covers,
the olive drab one, yeah.
The solid green helmet covers came out in the 50s, so.
Yeah, do you know what year exactly?
Probably 53 or 54, a lot of them, so.
Are you sure?
Very well yeah, they very well could have been in Korea, but probably once again right at the end. So.
Right. So yeah, I'm just wondering because I've seen pictures of guys like it looks like 51 and 52.
Yeah.
Wearing it looks like a fucking OD helmet cover. It's black and white again.
Yeah, so you can't really tell for sure.
But it's tight. It's got the seam down here. It doesn't have frog skin on it, and I'm like, huh.
Yeah, it could be. It doesn't surprise me. So because
right, I had to do more. That's why I was asking you. Like, we'll probably have to do some more research on when those actually came out.
But yeah, I know that they came out sometime in the 50s, and then they were basically never used because they never.
Well, these were Army guys too. They weren't Marines. They were Army.
Yeah, because the Marines had
which
the
is
frog
interesting
skin for the whole war. Yeah. So
right.
and the Army wanted their own helmet cover, and they tested it for a long time, and then basically they never ended up issuing them because the conflict never happened by the time they adopted the next pattern, which was the vine leaf Mitchell cover. So
yeah, 59.
So yeah, so that's why they're so rare, is because the government never thought they were going to use them.
Well, that's the thing too, is the Army was like, fuck it, we don't need it. And then the Marines were like, we like this pattern. Well, the Marines actually used the Mitchell pattern in 1952.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't they make shelter halves out of it?
Yeah, shelter halves, yep.
Yeah, so that's how normally how all the U.S. camouflage starts. It's like, it's a shelter half, and then they just adopt it to other shit.
Well, the Zeltbahn, right? The German fucking M31 Zeltbahn.
Mm-hmm.
Came a helmet cover, smock, anoraks, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. So, I got one M65 coat that I found while I was organizing that closet. I have one from Vietnam that's made out of the vine leaf shelter halves. Somebody had it made in country out of the vine leaf M65 jacket. So that's pretty neat because I have a whole bunch of weird M65s. So it's a neat thing.
I love that pattern.
Yeah, it works.
Both of them. I love the cloud for desert and the fucking Mitchell pattern, dude. It's a great pattern.
Yeah, they should have made uniforms out of it.
They should have.
Oh well. We'll never understand how the US does stuff.
I do. Lowest bidder.
Yeah, well, except for ACU when they pay somebody.
Yeah, I'll grease your fucking that too. I was just gonna say I'll grease your palms, you grease mine.
Yep. So that's how it tends to be how it works. So.
Yep.
But yeah, so you gotta get the whole winter shebang for that too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably get an M43. Top.
Yeah, and of course you already have the M1, so.
Yeah.
You're all set then. You're all set.
Yeah, I put the later gas plug in it, so.
Yeah, unless you wanted to do the whole M1 carbine type guy.
No, I want to do like the 1950 and 51 guy.
Yeah.
Where it's like basically a bunch of leftover World War II shit.
Yeah.
And.
But you're doing like NCO. You could have the M1 carbine if you wanted.
Could.
Yeah.
I have to get another fucking belt, more pouch. Well, actually, I have the pouches.
Yeah, so you'd be all set then.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be a lot nicer to carry, especially when you have to deal with all the winter shit you have to carry too. So.
Well, I'm doing it for videos. That's about it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You don't want to test it this winter?
Nope.
No. Oh, come on now. You don't want to do that. Well, here's what Korean snow camouflage looks like, and you're just a green blob.
Well, that's basically what Korean War camouflage was.
Yeah, just a green blob.
A green blob or a khaki blob or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, the Chinese and the North Koreans the same thing. Like they were wearing brown. So it's like,
well, brown works better in the winter than fucking green. So
it's a horse apiece, dude. Like, good
much,
God.
Pretty much.
It's still dark as it's contrasted like a motherfucker on a white background.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I suppose. Did they? I could swear I've seen pictures where they have some of them have over whites. Some U.S. guys have over whites.
Some U.S. guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I don't know if there
Not
was
like
any
pants,
actually
but like a
issued
big
at that
like
point.
white over parka type thing, like a big.
Sure, they did it in World War II as well, but like I'm not sure if that was actually issued.
I think they were.
I'm not sure if that was issued or if guys just because I know guys did it in Korea.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they took like sheets or some shit.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like I remember like seeing it could have been made still, but I remember seeing it looked almost too nice to be made out of a sheet. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it very well could have just been a sheet that somebody who fucking knew what they were doing made, you know. So.
Well, they double layered it and made it nice on they had it found a sewing machine. But no, I actually don't know about that. So that'll be something that I'll have to research because again in World War II, in World War II they were issued, but it was so limited though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, it would make sense. I think they would have those in Korea then too, because they would know that it's going to snow there.
But if I'm but if I'm following U.S. logic, quote unquote, I would think that we needed this shit in 1944 and 45 in the winter in Europe. We made it, but since we're never going to be fighting in Bastogne again, we don't ever have to manufacture this shit. Oh, we're getting into another war in Korea. Does it snow there? Yeah. We'll be done before Christmas.
Yeah.
If I'm one of those, decision makers,
pretty much, one of those generals who never has to leave their fucking desk,
Yep. But we'll be done before Christmas. Don't start the manufacture. Whereas if you put a soldier that had been in the Battle of the Bulge, like an actual just enlisted guy, and went, it snows in Korea. Oh, you're going there in September. Probably want to start manufacturing now.
Yeah. Well, you know that right after probably like February that year, the general's like, send the 2 crates we have. And so 80 guys got winter parkas because that's all that they had. They're just like, see, they're on their way. One of those things like, see, we sent you the 2 crates we have, but they're on their way. We have more. This is just all we could give you right now type bullshit. So. Oh, God.
I know you see a lot of helmet covers.
Yeah.
Because those are literally take a pillowcase and just stuff in your helmet.
Those are definitely not winter helmet covers, but somebody threw a bag or something over it.
Right.
So, but yeah, I could swear I've seen guys and they have the like weird winter boots, not the bunny boots, but the things they had before those. They're really tall. They have like
the mucklucks. That's what they're called.
With like all the laces and shit, and people fucking hated those.
Yep.
Because they got water in them, and you could never fucking get the water out of them because they were felt on the inside.
Yep.
So your feet were just always fucking cold and frozen and terrible.
Yeah, there's basically an unlimited amount of shit that was dumb to talk about for the Korean War.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, I mean, hey, the number 4 was okay.
The number 4 Mark 1 Star?
Well, and the Mark 1 was there, and the SMLE. Because the Indians and the Australians were there too, and they brought their own. I know.
I'm aware.
Everyone under the sun, every SMLE under the sun was there. So.
Yep. And so is basically every moist nugget too.
Yeah, pretty much. All the carbines, anyways.
Yeah, they issued a lot of the 9130s as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't surprise me, but most of the pictures I see, well, not that there's a lot of pictures of the North Koreans. You see a lot of the PPSHs and the fucking 44 carbines. Shit tons of 44 carbines.
Yep. So, yeah, for
they
sure.
Knew what
and
they
then
were
you
doing
see
with that mountain warfare.
You see some DB-28s as well.
Oh yeah, and there's one other machine gun you see a lot of. Trying to remember what it is though. Something with a belt, but I can't remember the model number.
The RPD was a little bit later.
No, it's not the RPD. Why can't I think of it? I can like see it in my head. I believe it's Russian, or maybe it's Polish or something like that. But
Polish at that point was Russian. What belt fed? You had the RPD, the PKM, and the Dushka that are belt fed.
Yeah, but I thought there was one that was before that the Russians really didn't like, that they didn't make a shit ton of.
The RPD.
No, it came before the RPD. No, it's the RP-46. That's what I'm thinking of, I guess.
I have no fucking clue what that is.
So it's a PPD converted to belt fed, I guess, is what it is. The RP-46.
A PPD converted to belt fed?
Yeah. There's a picture of it. Not the greatest.
Oh, a DP. Okay. A PPD is
RP-46, and
okay.
It was
so PPD, is the submachine gun from 1940.
Yeah.
That the 41 replaced. That's what I was like. A belt fed 7.6225.
No, this is a DP-28 that they just converted to be belt fed. Yeah. And I was like, I swear to God, it was a belt fed that they had the North Koreans had a fuck ton of. And
I've seen those before. I just didn't know what they were called.
Yeah, that's why I was having the hardest time thinking about it. But yeah, it's basically a DP-28 they converted to being belt
fed, which it's not fucking meant to be and shouldn't be.
No, but apparently they worked. So, and the Koreans them. They actually still have it as one of their primary light machine guns to this day.
Is that out of necessity or?
Yeah, they're all like rusting and falling apart, and the stocks are like held together with leather straps and like deck nails and stuff.
Well, here's the thing: is I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit because when everybody's like, "Oh, Cuba, they're stuck in the 50s," it's like,
no, Cuba has good stuff too, and North Korea has come a long ways. Like they have AKs and stuff, and they have.
But here's the thing: is
modern stuff and night vision and Type 05 from China.
Hold on. Just because we don't trade with them
doesn't mean
the rest of the world doesn't trade with them.
Exactly. But to be fair, North Korea doesn't trade with anybody that's not China. So
China trades with everyone else. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, by subjection, yeah, they get.
It's like a sexually transmitted illness or disease or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You may not fuck the other people directly, but you're fucking them indirectly, and you're still gonna get the clap.
But like they have a lot more stuff, but a lot of their weapons right now are primarily from the 50s and 60s. So.
Do you have proof?
Yeah, you can see their parades where they're carrying Mosin Nagants. And
what year? Well, we carry M1s and M14s and 1903s.
2010, and then next after that, they have guys in modern digital camouflage and Type 05s and night vision.
Well, we have guys at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier wearing the fucking ASUs and the modern brown uniforms carrying M14.
Yeah. But
that's not proof.
There's also defectors that talk about how their weapons are falling apart and their shit, and there's a lot of units.
Or is it the South Koreans just going, "Here's what they told us"?
I have no idea if it's just that, but it seems to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can prove it,
yeah.
If you can prove it, sure. But like, I'll bet you I'm gonna go beat the living fuck out of my dick when I take a piss.
All right.
And I also have to deal with the fucking shit panicking animal, which I don't know why he's shit panicking.
Okay. But yeah, I could swear that they have
your stream.
All right. Yeah, but I could swear that North Korea, they're getting better stuff, but I guess they have a lot of, supposed to be a lot better, getting better stuff as their relations improve with China and whatnot. But I hear a lot of their crap's still pretty crap. Yeah, weasel horse time for sure. And his AK just fell over. All his cool guns in the background. That's what I kind of figured. Like, I know for a long time they had basically Mosin guns and a few AKs. Like, I know that like the Type 56 AK was like their primary weapon up until like the 2000 teens, but now they're getting better stuff. So sure. Well, they have Type 05s and stuff now. They have modern stuff. Like they have like basically some of their better units are equipped like the Chinese are right now. Like they have night vision and composite body armor and Kevlar helmets and modern intermediate caliber like bullpup assault rifles and stuff. So
yes.
Yeah, put your giant hat back on.
Yeah. That's the plan.
There you go. Well, at least you could wear your winter hat underneath that and still look cool.
Now we're a lot of the guys in Korea, it looks like they wore their like Jeet cap underneath their helmet.
Yeah.
Not this. They didn't like triple layer it.
Still. Hey, if it gets cold enough, you'll triple layer it. Every layer helps.
Yeah, or I'll just come inside and put on my modern shit.
That's fair. That's fair. We have that luxury now, but they didn't back then with their frozen mucklucks and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
But I definitely got to polish up the brass on mine. It's getting.
So I choose to not do that.
It's turning green.
Also,
it's turning green though.
No, I'll show you that afterwards.
Sure.
So you mean just untarnish your brass?
Yeah, untarnish my brass. It's supposed to be blackened, but that blackening just rubs off instantly. So.
Right.
Because it's brass on brass for a lot of the buckles. So.
God, this fucking shit's not made to sit in a computer chair. God,
I know, right? Well, I'm wearing the full-on freaking pack, and I'm sitting in my chair, so I'm sitting on the edge of my fucking oak chair here. So
yeah, well, let's get that 45 pack. Well, actually, here's the thing: is most U.S. guys like they kind of did it like they did in both World Wars, where if they were doing an assault where they were just out on patrol, they left their pack at their position.
Yeah,
and then they'd go out do their thing as light as possible,
and
then they'd come back.
Yep.
And I know the Commonwealth.
They carried everything.
Nope.
They carried
your pack is with you.
Everything. Yeah. So that.
It's funny because even the Germans did the same thing that the U.S. did.
Yeah. But carrying everything kind of sucks. But that's something the French did too. They carried literally everything. So.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole
thing.
It
means when you took somewhere, you could just stay there. You could set up, stay there.
Yeah, but the U.S. what they would do is they'd have guys in reserve going, okay, we took that position, and they would carry their shit up to them.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. The U.S. has all that stuff. They were most of everybody there, so.
In Korea, but no, I'm saying in World War II and the First World War, they did the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. They did. Yeah, they did.
They'd have a few guys carry their kit.
Yeah.
With them to have supplies for the squad and company, but
yeah.
No, they would always rely on like, we're gonna take that fucking position.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna bring your shit up to you.
Fair.
So
well, Commonwealth would they wear your small pack, but that's still most of everything.
Yeah, I mean that's still a huge thing. It's like the US, this is a light, like this is the belt, canteen, first aid kit, bayonet.
No, I'm set up super lightweight too. I have winter gear, change of socks, spare ammo, food in the backpack. I have 2 canteens, a mess kit, a medical kit, 2 large ammo pouches, a bayonet, and everything under the fucking sun.
Fuel. The definition of light kit. For the US is a little bit different. I should have a bandolier on, but I don't.
Yeah. But the Canadians would have a bandolier too, because that's what you would supply your rifle out of. And your mag pouches would be full of either both pouches would be Bren mags, or you would have one pouch would be Bren mags and the other would be either a combination of hand grenades or rifle grenades. So.
Yep. Yeah, in the US, the US and Korea, oh my God. In World War II, they did the whole like spoon on the whatever equipment. In Korea, it was worse. It was like fucking, you see guys with like 10 grenades hanging off of them. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's for grenades. Explosions.
Before the jungle clip and everything, like the safety thing, they just had them hanging off them. It's like, what the fuck? If you have to go down and like one of those pins pulls, you're fucked.
Yeah, or what happens when, let's say they don't go off and you have to just jump down now on like 10 fucking grenades. That probably is not going to feel the best, jumping onto just 10 fucking grenades hanging off the front of all your shit.
Yeah, because they're iron. They're fucking...
Yeah, they're cast iron. They're just a fucking cast iron ball, essentially.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that would just hurt. That's like jumping onto a bunch of sharp fucking rocks.
Well, I know when I used to work at Menards back in high school, there was a guy there, his name was Dean, and he was in Korea. He was an infantryman. And he was a BAR gunner. And he was like, he said it was weird because we'd have 20 guys on the top of a hill holding it because we had to. We were just told. And he's like, one day the ground stood up and started moving up the hill at us.
Yeah.
And he's like, we thought we were dead, but we just kept firing and kept firing and kept firing, and that's it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Endless waves of Chinese. They could just throw bodies at people.
Right.
So the U.S. couldn't keep up with ammo supply, especially in the winter. The Chinese like to attack during the winter because the U.S. couldn't get stuff up the roads. There's like no developed roads.
Right.
And same thing with the Commonwealth. The Chinese they did everything on foot. They didn't have trucks and shit. They moved everything on foot or by like pack animal for the most part.
Yep.
And they would just throw bodies at people, even to the point where like everyone's like, well, the Commonwealth and the French and the US and everybody, they had tanks. Well, the Chinese would just put landmines on people and they would jump onto the fucking tanks or under the tanks and blow themselves up. They didn't care.
Tanks.
So
they have tanks. It's like in Vietnam. We had tanks in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I've talked to guys who were in Vietnam as a tanker.
Yeah.
And they're like, during the raining season, we dug in on top of a hill.
Yeah.
And we just sat there.
Yeah.
We couldn't fucking do anything.
Just an artillery gun. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Direct fire. Yeah. And
tanks did good in Korea, though. A lot of the year, you were all right to use your tank and stuff, and it was open enough to do that. So.
Damn it, Kong.
Well, I mean, he is part of the Air Force. That's like 90% of their job description is chair naps. So.
Yeah. And so they call it Chair Force.
That's right. Yeah. Good to see you're keeping up the good work protecting the country, sir.
As a contractor, which is the best way to do it.
That's the best way to do it, making that big contractor money. So.
Yep.
But so now I got to get a number 4, unless I can borrow yours for this whole thing.
Oh fuck yeah, you can.
For sure. Now that you have like 7 of them.
And no. I'll let you use the Canadian one.
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Even better.
Yeah, this is so in case you haven't noticed, people, if you're watching this, you'll be among the very few people that know, by very, very popular demand in the comments. And I didn't want to do it, but I will be starting a Korean War series on my channel. And it's going to be going probably more in depth than the Vietnam thing, because I want to learn as much as I can about it. And then when I learn stuff, I'll be posting videos as I learn it. But I'm going to go into extreme detail.
For sure.
Like, not giving anything away totally, but World War II patch, World War II patch. There were variations. There's a reason why this is on here. Stuff like that. Like, really, really intricate, weird shit. Because basically the U.S. military didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Pretty much.
As far as like, well, we're modernizing, I guess. We're getting into this new era of the Cold War. But,
well, in the end, they hardly cared. They thought the whole thing was going to be nuclear. So.
Well, and it would have been.
So, good thing it wasn't, but. So, but there was the U.S. thought, well, if worse comes to worse, we'll just drop bombs.
Right.
Fuck them. Yeah. So, but that was back when the U.S. was the only people that had fucking nukes. So.
Well, no, the Soviets did.
They did, yeah, but not.
No, because that was one of the big factors that actually got us involved in the Korean War. Is the Soviets did their first successful, widely known test in 1950.
That's right. I was going to say it's probably right at the beginning of the war.
Before we got involved majorly.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh shit. Like they had tested before, but it was like they wanted the world to know at this point because they had perfected it.
Yeah. For sure.
So.
Well, do you want to talk about some of the stuff you're kind of wearing then, as far as like years?
Nope.
No?
Not yet.
Not yet? You're going to do a whole video?
Yeah, no, I want the series to be vast and expansive, and
for sure. We'll have to set everything up all correct then and get it all good.
What the fuck? YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit.
I've been having a lot of weird stuff like that too.
Okay.
So.
All right. I won't make any more jokes towards Kong because I can't. Jesus, Proust.
Yeah, Kong's hair's purple now.
Oh my god.
Which, to be fair, it looks pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, the purple hair.
No, and I literally just typed. I'll type it to Kong.
Oh yeah, are we gonna go to North Korea for the Korean thing? We should see if we could do that. I'd go on vacation in North Korea. I hear it's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's really successful, and
I mean, I could care less how many people are starving there. I just want to have a good time.
Right? Yeah, drive a
Their
tank.
country. So I want to go see all the cool mountains and be followed everywhere and not be allowed to take pictures. But I feel like it'd be a fun time.
Right.
To go see. I'd be okay with that.
They're very successful.
So, hey, who's that basketball player that really likes to go over there and he's like best friends with?
Yeah,
and he's like, it's the best fucking place ever. And he's like, it's not like what the media actually says it is. And, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell was his name?
I don't remember either. I don't watch basketball, so. Yeah, Dennis Rodman. Yep. He loves it there. So
yeah,
he's got like a house there and stuff too, and like I'd go there to visit. I mean, I'm not going to tell them how to run their country, and I don't care what I see. They do whatever as long as I'm, I'd go there on vacation. I'd spend some money there, see some stuff. I feel like that'd be cool.
Oh.
So, if they'd let me, of course, they never will. But I would greatly enjoy going to North Korea, I believe. So if I could get a passport stamp out of it, that'd be even cooler.
A lot of history there. But
I'd love to eventually in my lifetime get a North Korean, a South Korean, and just a Korean passport stamp. You know how cool that'd be?
That would be cool.
So, but I probably never will get the chance, unfortunately. So,
yeah,
the Women's Army. I don't care if I see any of their army. I just want to go see all the cool stuff that they have there. There's a lot of history in North Korea. I want to see all the big communist statues. I have a cool thing about statues. I like statues. So,
in true British fashion.
That's true. In North Korea, apparently makes a lot of statues in a lot of other communist nations, and they give them like a lot of the statues of like African communist leaders, back in the day, were made by the North Koreans. So apparently the North Koreans make some pretty bomb-ass statues because they're all over. Like Cuba has a few statues that are made by the North Koreans and a bunch of other cool stuff. So a lot of people don't know that, but North Korea makes a lot of communist statues. So. And I think that'd be fantastic to go see all the cool statues they have there.
Agreed. Someday, just not now.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. If I could get a hold of the North Korean government and be like, I'm a history guy, and I'd like to come hear your side of all the stuff. So
have some North Korean proper kimchi.
Yeah, go eat some Korean food. I haven't had a whole lot of Korean food. That's probably the only Korean food I have actually had.
I've had the stuff you get here, but there was a place, oddly enough, like a block from or half a block from my college that was like legit
real Korean food. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, of course it's here and it doesn't taste the same because it's food sourced from a different soil and all that shit. But
yeah, it's not as good. Yeah.
No, it was really good. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, I wish. I gotta be more adventurous when I go out to eat. But
yeah.
Tell you what though, I do really like that goddamn Somali food. I will not quit eating that despite how racist the city is. I will be the only white person in there. I do not care.
No, Somali food is like, it's really good. Like, it reminds me of, it's like Middle Eastern food, but it's got its own little kick on it. It's amazing.
It is basically Middle Eastern food, but then there's a fuck ton of Italian influence. So
right, exactly. And
where else are you going to find that other than Somalia? Because Somalia was like the one place that was Italy for a long time.
Because nobody else fucking wanted
it. Exactly. So, but it's like they have this massive Italian influence. And they have a lot of pasta and crap like that. And then you get all the Middle Eastern spices and stuff and whatnot. And it's just fantastic. You're not going to find that mashup anywhere else. So
yeah, that was I think I told you about that. We went to a place in Minneapolis that probably isn't there anymore. It probably got burned down, but it was we were the only. Well, we had 3 honkies, an Asian dude, and whatever else you want to separate us by. Anyway, we were the only non-Somalis in there.
Yep.
And we sat down, came over there like, hey, how's it going? They gave us the appetizers and shit, and like, you guys know what you want? Sure. Yep. I want this. Cool. They came out with the bananas and the fucking sauces, and then they gave us that broth with the goat meat in it, which is really, really fucking good.
Yeah. And, so rich.
And then you get your main course, and it was a shitload of like really good rice that was seasoned really well. I got curried goat, and I forgot that they chopped up the bones with it for the flavor. So the first piece I took, I just bit down and I was like, oh, okay. Middle Eastern. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Middle Eastern style. All right. But no, it was really good. And then I forgot what else we had with it. But no, it was fantastic. It was dirt cheap too. My whole meal cost like $10.
Yeah, it's like next to nothing. It's some of the best food you could get for nothing.
Yeah, and it was like, I was like, really? This is like $10 for the whole thing? Yeah. I left him a hell of a tip. But yeah, it was everybody else was looking at us like, why the hell are you here? You know, it's like they weren't hostile. They were just like, really? You guys want to come here? But it's good though. Like if you go to a good Mexican restaurant, right, you're gonna have a lot of the like local people who are from Mexico or South or Central America
eating there. Yeah,
eating
if it's
there.
a bunch of just regular like white people, I get kind of concerned.
Right, and it's like so we were sitting there, but no, we had a great time. With like, I think our entire bill for like 6 of us was under $100,
which is very hard to
I'm
do
like,
for
what
6
the
people
fuck?
anywhere.
This
Yeah.
is insane. But yeah,
I mean,
we
with
all left
6
them.
people, you could have a $100 bill at McDonald's. So like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Oh, exactly. And so I was like, but we were all like stuffed. We were like, we cannot fucking eat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was really good food. It was just hearty, good shit.
Oh yeah. It's like I told you, it's like the most racist Somali guy I've ever met was the guy that owns this restaurant in St. Cloud. Because like I told you, he came here and he worked hard for it, like before all the like refugees came. And he despises all of the refugees. Despises them.
Right, because a lot of them they just
leech off the system. He's like, they're all a bunch of parasites. And
right. A lot of them, not all of them, because I've met a lot of good Somali people that are like first and second generation,
who
and even like the actual immigrants
give a damn. They want to be here.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I like this place. Like, it's fucking great. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people too that just they don't get it. Like they're
just here to get what they can while they can. And
again, it's like modern day people fleeing certain areas of the United States to go to other areas. I'm just like, I just want you to remember why you left where you left.
Yeah.
Or you fled where you fled, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember that.
Yep.
And that's it. And yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, people are people. They're weird.
Yeah. But like he went through the whole process. Like he learned English before he moved here, like self-taught himself English to move here. So he could like fit in better. He's like, I want to be an American. He flies the American flag outside of his restaurant. Like,
well, yeah, there was a chick that I went to school with, and I actually failed chemistry with her. And she sat next to me every day because we were talking, and it was just cool shit. And her dad was actually, he came here in 91 before the whole...
This guy was like 91 or 92. Yep. Yeah. So
he joined the U.S. Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So he served in the Navy for a few years, did that shit, and then moved to St. Paul and did his thing and had a family. And they were very like, just, yeah, whatever, you know, good shit.
But I just remember walking in there too, because I went in there, it wasn't super late. It's probably like 7 p.m. And
oh yeah, but it is uncomfortable because you're sitting there going, what are they thinking? And then you got to think, well, if I served German food, like strictly German food, I was a German immigrant and I served German food, and some black people walked in, what would I think? You know, it's just like, it's out of the ordinary. Not necessarily like you hate them or like you're being mean. It's just like, that's out of the ordinary.
But he's only got like 5 tables in his restaurant. He has like a maximum occupancy of like 12 people in his whole restaurant. And because it's like a tiny little storefront, and it's also like a deli, so he has like a big like window case that shows all the food that they have for that day and stuff. And you could go up and just point to what you want, and they will.
That's how it is in the Middle East. Yep.
Yeah, and then bring it out to you, and like nice and hot and like ready to go. And I remember walking in there, and everybody stopped talking, and like a lot of people got up. One like guy stayed in there because he probably didn't care. But like the place like cleared out, and then so he was coming over and he was just talking to me the whole time about all this stuff, and he's like, he's giving me free drinks. I'm like, well, I've never had it before. I've never had any of this stuff. But he's like, I heard from some people at work that this place is awesome.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I'm glad that you're here. He's like, what do you want to try? And I'm like, well,
exactly.
What do you recommend? And he's just like bringing out little bowls of shit for me to like try. And I'm like, I don't know how much like money I have. And he's like, oh no, he's like, just try this. He's bringing me out
the thing is like
eat.
With a German restaurant, like my little analogy, like you see black people come in there, everybody's like, that's unusual. But then the thing that unites people more than anything, I think, in the world is food.
Food, hands down. Yeah, everyone's got to eat
because everybody's like, well, hey, if you show an interest in my culture, I'm gonna show anything you want. Let's do it. You know. And
maybe I should challenge him to like a maple syrup chug off now for being so nice to me. Like it's
right. No, that's the thing is like I did like Minneapolis was awesome because, man, there's a lot of different people there from a lot of different countries. And a lot of cultural diversity for sure. And the food there was anything you want, basically.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Minneapolis is like surprisingly becoming one of the big well, not now since they raised all the taxes and everything and everywhere shutting down or moving away.
Yeah, but it was, yeah.
Yeah, but it was for like the last 10 years going to be one of the biggest food scenes in the United States was going to be Minneapolis.
Definitely. It's and here's the thing in Minneapolis is it was so competitive that if you weren't good and really good,
you failed.
You didn't survive. Quick. Yeah, exactly. So. And so when you go to a place in Minneapolis, it's like 95% of the places you go, wow, this is really fucking good.
It's really fucking good food. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what ethnicity, what type of food it is, it's all really fucking good.
Yeah. God, that makes me fucking hungry. I haven't eaten since probably 10 a.m. So.
Jeez.
I had a busted open bag of Milano cookies. So. Yeah.
They're all right. Those little oval shaped ones.
Yeah, with like the chocolate in the middle for like sandwich cookies, but they're like that really like kind of dry, bland, but really absorbent like cookie, and so you dip them in your coffee and crap like that.
It's like shortbread without any moisture.
Yeah, it's shortbread with a fuck ton of air in it too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's no moisture, but it tastes the same, but it's just like dry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I had a busted open box of those, so because it wasn't like it was the seal was broken on it, but like they're all paper bags. And so the bottom they have to like fold and then they glue, and this one must have just not had enough glue on it, so the paper came undone, but the foil was still intact. So I couldn't sell it, so I ate it.
Good call.
It was all right. I haven't had any Milanos in a long time because I'm so sick and tired of them, and I realized I'm still sick and tired of them. So I had like 3 of them, and I was like, yeah, that's enough. That's more than enough.
Oh, one other thing I got to mention is if you're not signed up for my newsletter at mikesmilitary.com, I just got a bunch of really cool shit. British Invasion.
I like British stuff.
So does everybody else apparently, because
it's all good shit.
I'll be making a YouTube
video.
Except
for the L85. That thing's a steaming pile of dog shit.
Well, maybe rumors like the early ones, sure, but like
no, the new H&K ones, I guess, are pretty good. People like them.
I've heard like the L85 is okay, like it works.
Yeah, it's kind of like had a lot of the same stuff the M16 had. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've pretty much worked all the kinks out of it, and then just for the sheer fun of it, they let the Germans get their hands on it, and they worked basically every last little thing they could out of that system. So it's not going to get any better till they replace it. But
the sun's actually not going down that early tonight. That's nice.
Really, it's cloudy as shit here. So
yeah, I mean it's down, but it's still dusk.
Yeah.
So.
I'll take it, considering it's going to be fantastically fucking cold for the next couple of days.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to get all this shit. It was supposed to be here last week, but
what do you do with all that stuff?
Yeah, and so I was out there today, and I got the chills today because I was like, oh fuck, but gonna have to acclimate. I have a feeling it's gonna get cold fast, and it's gonna be a cold fucking winter.
Yep, long and cold. But next week it's supposed to be mostly 60s, so it'll be all right.
Yep. But yeah,
so just a couple days of 30s and 40s here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be rough this winter. I bet we get our first snowfall by the end of October. So
I'd say mid.
Yeah, would surprise. Well, I'm giving us a reason, a small chance. I want over half the state to get snowfall before I count it as snowfall.
So how about this? You say end of October, so you just say Halloween. How about that?
Sure.
I'll say October 15th.
Okay.
The first big snowfall.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm wrong.
Well, as long as over half the state gets it, that's when because the north part of the Minnesota's already got snow.
Right. Yeah, they had that shit a while back.
Yeah. But a couple weeks ago they had some snow, but
it came down from Canada. I watched it, and it was it came from Victoria.
Yeah.
And it went down through Saskatchewan and fucking Alberta and all that shit, and then it came down to Minnesota.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yeah, but until it snows in like Brainerd, I'm not really counting it. So since Brainerd's almost right in the middle of the state. So if it snows there, we'll count it. Welcome back.
Yep, thanks.
So.
Yeah, fucking Christ.
Yep. Once it snows in Brainerd, that's when I'll count it. That's halfway through.
In Brainerd, oh yeah.
Yep, Brainerd's almost right in the middle of the whole entire state. So if it snows in Brainerd before the 15th, we'll count it.
Well, Lake Mille Lacs is a beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good. I mean, it's way underdeveloped and kind of shitty now, but
well,
I mean, the casino there is pretty nice.
That's like the beginning of the Iron Range, so
yeah.
What do you expect?
I mean, a little bit less meth. I mean, I'm just saying.
But they're taking after us in their mid 2000s.
Yeah. But like that place is such a dump now because like the nice side of the lake, they had that ice push come up and wreck all those fucking buildings on the one side of the lake because though it was so windy. What was it? 2 winters ago.
Yeah, it was
pushed
bad.
all of that ice up onto the land, and it literally like
eroded everything,
buildings, and like pushed them off foundations and crap. And they
I remember that. Remember watching that? Yeah, it was fucking insane. People
haven't like fixed like any of it yet. It's just destroyed. So
I have to bring this up in the debate. Joe Biden said that we've never seen storms like this before, especially the one that hit like Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, which is a derecho, right?
Yeah.
Straight line winds. They don't happen that often in that magnitude.
Yeah.
Derecho is a Spanish word.
Yeah.
Okay. An actual like from Spain Spanish word for straight or direct, rather direct.
Yeah.
Those storms have been around for fucking ever. They've hit north of here before.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen winds like that before in my lifetime.
It's like a fucking 40 to 50 mile wide tornado is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we've never seen storms like that before because of climate change.
That happens like at least once a year in some
parts. Yeah, that's the thing.
Like it happens all the fucking time. What's Joe Biden?
I mean, that whole thing was a train wreck, like that whole fucking thing. But when he said that, I'm like,
Yeah. Thanks, Con. Again.
Con balls.
That's right. But you know what? I'm upset. What I'm most upset about the debates is the fact that PETA let those chimps fling shit at each other for so long and they didn't take it off the air. So that's the real problem there. PETA should be contacting whatever zoo those 2 monkeys got out of and making sure they get back safely, because that's just like cruel and unusual animal punishment there. So,
right. Yeah. Was...
well, hey, now that Trump has the coof,
yeah, he's got mild symptoms. They said. I hope he recovers. Like,
yeah. Well, I hope he was close enough to give it to Biden too, because like,
no, I don't. I mean, like, honestly, it's. I mean, Trump's fucking 74 years old and overweight and not that.
He'll be all right. He's the fucking president. He'll be all right.
No, I hope he is. Like, I hope he doesn't suffer. I hope it doesn't damage him. But like, I also hope it doesn't. I hope he just gets it so it's done.
Yeah. But it would be cool though if we had both of them go down. Then what would they do?
I don't fucking know.
So, well, Pence would probably take over for the Republicans, and then who would the Democrats have to fill in for Biden?
Harris, of course.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
But
that'd be interesting. I'd like to see that debate.
Pence I'm curious to see like how they treat him, what they used, and how his symptoms are. Like, I'm just curious. I think he'll pull through. I hope he does.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
But like,
I'm not too worried about it.
If he says, because now he can say that he's had it.
Yeah.
Whatever. And
And then he says he's got a mild version of it. So if it's blown out of proportion and now he has it, you know they're going to be monitoring him every second, asking him how it is and reporting it on the media. And he's going to be like, "Oh, it was like a cold. It's not that bad," you know?
Right, and I don't know. It's
so, and if he pulls through and it's literally like nothing, because they're probably going to be literally interviewing him every
right,
second.
because he's fucking old as shit.
And if he pulls through it like it's fucking nothing, I mean, is it really that much of a problem? Him being that old and this overweight.
Well, there was a study I heard about on the radio today. I don't know how factual it is,
how
but
grounded it actually is. Yeah.
No, but like there was a study in Germany recently that came out that said there was a DNA factor in how it affects people, and the DNA factor that they've surmised, I guess, or hypothesized, they've drawn a correlation to is way back when in Southern Europe, when Neanderthals and humans or some shit bred. It's basically, long story short, is however much Neanderthal DNA a certain group of people or a person has in them, determines whether they're going to get it worse than others. And the people who have the most Neanderthal DNA happen to be in Asia, in India, Asia, all that stuff. And then in Europe, it's Western Europe mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And so those people. Well, I think Italy is considered Western Europe, right?
Yeah. Huh?
Italy is considered Western Europe, correct?
Well, everything technically west of Poland is considered Western Europe, basically.
Okay, so it's Italy. Yeah. So this is their hypothesis. It's not a fact at all, and I encourage people to go do their research on that shit. But it's interesting that like they were seeing a pattern of like people who had more of this, and then they broke down the map in the United States, and a lot of people in like Texas, Arizona, like the Southwest, and then the Northwest, have got a lot of these Neanderthal strains in their DNA, and they've been affected worse by this than people who have less of the DNA in them.
Yeah, I also heard that it was there is one specific strain of gene for why it doesn't affect a lot of African people, because a lot of African people have a specific gene that makes them it's the same gene that makes them more resistant to malaria.
Oh, the sickle cell, yeah.
Well, no. They have one gene that makes them resistant to malaria.
Yes, that is the sickle cell.
Yeah, something like that, and that helps keep them from getting coronavirus as well. So.
Yeah, no, and it's weird. Like, genetics are insane. I will never understand them. But it's interesting to hear these things because on the surface level, that's interesting. And like I mean, I guess my heritage is mostly Eastern European from what I know, but it's also Western European.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I want to roll the dice? Do I want to, because whatever the fuck I had,
let's do it. Saddle up the show pony. Saddle up the show pony.
Whatever I had last December into January, whatever I had, I don't know. I don't think it was COVID.
Yeah.
But that shit knocked me on my ass for 5 full fucking days. When I say 5 full days, I mean I was sick for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But for 5 days, I was like, could barely function, could barely get out of bed. It was awful.
Yeah.
And there's people that have said that they've had that, what I had.
Yeah.
And then they've gotten COVID and tested. But here's the thing: is the testing is so fucked up. But anyway, they said they've had COVID, and COVID was bad, but it only lasted like 3 days, and then it was relatively
easy,
gone. And
whatever I had from, it was like 1 day it was horrible, and after that it was all right. So.
Yeah, and it might have been a cold. It might. Who knows? Like that's the problem is these tests are so fucking inaccurate. And if I were to go get antibody tests, if I've had coronavirus in the past, any kind of one, it would test positive.
Yeah.
So it's
we can do it now in like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, even if I were to do that, it doesn't say it's COVID-19 specifically, SARS-2.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, well, it is
a coronavirus.
That's what the test is SARS-2. Yeah.
Well, that's what they say it is.
Yeah.
But it really, it's just testing a coronavirus, which there are hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah, thousands of coronaviruses, yeah.
Right, and I'm sure you and I have had them. So it's like,
yeah.
And again, I don't like getting sick normally. Like I just, and I don't get sick anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why this past thing that I had last winter was surprising, because I'm like, I've been around people that have the seasonal flu in close proximity.
Well, same thing with me. I work around tens of thousands of people standing in Walmart, shitting their pants and farting and coughing all over each other.
Sneezing.
And I hardly ever get sick either. And something.
And it's insane. So like, I'm wondering, I'd be curious, but I just wish they could actually have a test for that specific strain of antibodies. But you really can't, because your body just whatever. But anyway, it'd be interesting to see if that was COVID, because whatever I had last winter sucked.
Yeah.
It was fucked. Like
I wish they had like testing way back when I was sick, because if I did have it, they what is it? Like blood plasma people are paying you like $400 a donation to get blood that has antibodies in it.
Right.
And I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'll sell my blood for $400 a pint. Get 2 taps in me. You know?
Exactly.
Fuck, let's take a gallon if you want to. We're all right. Like, come on.
I don't know. Giving blood, it's pretty. Oof.
Yeah, I'm okay with giving blood if we need to, but like, I don't volunteer. Like, if it was an emergency, I'm all for it. Like, I'll give blood.
When I was in basic, at the end, they came into our bay one day and they were like, "Who in here has O negative blood?" And I raised my hand and I'm like, "Oh fuck, nope." They're like, "You and whoever else raised their hand," like 3 of us out of 60.
Yeah.
Like, "Come with me."
Yeah.
And we were 4. Well, I guess we had an option, but I felt compelled. Like, we need blood for the guys in Iraq and Afghanistan or wherever guys are deployed.
Yeah.
Like
so now they're running out of it all the time.
Universal donors, like you've got all the vaccines and all that shit. So, and I'm like, okay, well, I could do IVs. Like we've been doing it all cycle. Well, I didn't realize they were going to pull out the fucking like 10 gauge fucking needle.
Yeah, the big one. They want to get it out of you like fucking now. Yeah.
Right, the garden hose with the bevel on it,
yeah.
Like they're sweetening us up. They're like, yeah, after you give blood, you have all those Oreos and shit. And I'm like, I haven't had sweets in fucking months. This is gonna be amazing.
Right.
So they poke it in, and I'm like, yeah, there's old reliable right there. Old Big Bertha is what I call her.
Yep.
They pop that fucker in there. I'm like, oh, that hurts. Okay, all right. And so I just looked away. Okay. They're like, okay, we're doing right. I'm doing all right. Talking like, hey, so how was, what are you doing? What are you gonna do when you get home? And I'm talking, and all of a sudden I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, don't look at the bag, don't look at the bag, don't look at the bag, don't look at the bag.
Don't look at the bag. Yeah.
And all of a sudden I went.
You take a glance at it, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And all of a sudden they're like, okay. And the nurses all piled around me, laid me down flat,
Yep.
And they're like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna lay you down.
Relax.
We're all good. Yep. Relax. And I'm just like, and so after all was said and done, they got their pint.
Yep.
And I'm just like, my ears are ringing. I'm like seeing almost black, but like stars. I'm like,
yeah, the little spots that appear. Yeah, because you're so lightheaded now. Yeah.
And I'm just like, but I mean, it was half panic, half whatever. It was mostly panic.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. And all of a sudden, so I get back up, and all of a sudden my ears stop ringing a bit, and the nurse is like, "Are you okay now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm good." And she's
like, "Weren't like, where's my damn package of Oreos?"
No, not yet. Because I was just like, I was kind of freaked out. They're like, I'm like, did you get the blood you needed? She's like, yep, we're good. Thank you so much. And all of a sudden, she's like, wow, your color literally went from normal to white from the top down in your face. Like completely white. She's like, and I was like sweating and shit. But no, I gave the blood, and then after that I was kind of like nauseous and shit. She's like, well, there's Oreos and milk, and I'm like, real milk? She goes, it's milk. I'm like, okay, whatever, fine.
It's milk, yeah. That means it's fucking powdered milk. Yeah.
And it was like, yes, I had a bunch of Oreos, but no, it was just weird looking at my blood like being taken that quickly.
Yeah.
And it was like, they had it on the chiller, so it was frozen, it was frosting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching this fucking hose being drained out, and I just For whatever reason, it just freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like that though. Like I've got no problem
doing
with
IVs
like,
all cycle. We have been sticking each other with IVs, and I got over that.
Well, an IV needle, to be fair, is like microscopic compared to what they take blood out with. Like,
yeah, it was just like, and I'm not scared of blood. I'm not squeamish.
No,
but it was just my blood in that bag. That much of it, I was just like,
it looks like a shit ton. It's not a lot,
right? But it's really not.
It looks like a ton. Yeah.
So the next morning, right, I go and run a PT test.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody that I gave blood.
Yeah.
I failed my fucking run because we ran in the sand, and I failed my fucking run. And that was the first time I had failed at the whole fucking cycle. Well, the first run in basically I failed because I was so fucking out of shape. That was the first one I had failed since like week 1. And they were like, "What in the fuck is your problem?"
And you're just like, "I gave blood."
Well, no, I was like, "I actually don't know." And they're like, "There's nothing like what is different about today than it was yesterday?" And I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Well, I did give blood yesterday." And then they're like, "You gave blood yesterday." I'm like, "Yep." And they're like, "You didn't bother to tell anybody? You think that would make a difference? Like that would be a thing?"
Yeah, because aren't you not supposed to like super exert yourself after you
48 hours? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And so they were, after I told them that, they were like, "Oh, all right, well, get back, go get some food, drink a shitload of water."
Yeah, go drink some water, go to the chow hall a few extra times.
The thing is, I went to chow, they're like, "You need to take twice as much as you usually do. Like, get some food back in your system." And I'm like, "Okay." And then did it 2 days later and fucking smoked it, smoked the run and everything.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, okay." It does make a difference.
Sure. Well, you got that liquid gold in you. I'm glad that I'm such a mediocre blood type, as a B positive.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my
it's
attitude.
it's
Nobody
cool,
gives a shit about B positive. Yeah. They don't even want it half the time. They're like, "Are you gonna donate?" Because they want the ABs and they want the O's.
Yes.
So the people that are just regular A or B, they almost don't even fucking bother, which I kind of like. So.
Right. Yeah. O negative is like your blood platelets are like completely round, so they'll attach to any other blood platelet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck. I mean, I didn't feel bad for doing it. I wanted to do it and help someone, but like, good God, that whole process, I was like, God, I'm a fucking pussy.
That's like, like everyone's always like, I don't have a problem with it. Like I've given blood before and stuff, and I could watch it. It's almost kind of cool. I kind of almost like to watch it fill the bag because I'm kind of weird like that. But like, I also. They're like, "Oh, would you want to donate blood at the blood drive?" And I'm like, "No, I like to keep my blood on the inside, like everyone else should be trying to do, Like, so, and that's kind of my whole take on it. Like, if there was like a war on or something, and I'm like, you needed it really bad, it's like, fuck, I guess. But like, till then, it's like, I think I'm gonna keep this on the inside, where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it was. So. It was fun. I really hope I helped somebody. I really hope I did. But
yeah, just like Kong said, he's a B positive too. They're like, "Oh, you go give blood," and the B positives are like, "Nah, fuck it, you guys go run or something."
Well, that's the thing is like me. I should do it more than I do.
You should, Mike. You're saving the world by giving your blood, because they actually use blood for like so many different treatments for stuff now. Like,
they do research.
There's so much treatment for so many different.
Well, I couldn't give it for a few years because I couldn't give it for a few years after we got back, and I milked that excuse. Trust me, because we had the anthrax vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
And it was live, and it was that dude. So I mean, a lot of the inoculations, I got really sick in the beginning of basic, like everybody does, because of the inoculations, and your immune system's all fucked up, and everybody's from all over the US. But
yeah,
I was super healthy, I was in shape. I was fucking doing great. The anthrax vaccine. Because you had to do 5 things. I got through 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like after the second one, I'm like, I cannot fucking do this anymore.
Yeah.
It was, and some people don't react, and I reacted really poorly to it.
Well, I remember that, but I don't remember ever having to tell people when I was donating blood about those. But then again, when you go donate plasma, they're only taking the clear part, not the red part.
Yeah, I know, but like for blood, they said for 5 years after this, you should not give blood.
Oh no, I donated plasma a few times after that.
Yeah, that's plasma. Like I'm talking just straight up blood for
that's
a transfusion.
what I'm saying. Yeah, it might be because plasma doesn't carry that or something like that because they're giving you the red part back. They're only taking the clear part.
Right. The red part is where I believe that it
resides.
It resides. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Did you in Canada? Do you have the peanut butter shot, the penicillin shot,
same
the top?
Thing that they. Yep.
So imagine the second anthrax shot when they put it in my arm.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like in my whole fucking arm.
Really?
Yeah, like I could not. I went back to the tent that we were in, and I fucking did a bunch of push-ups just to get my arm to
just
feel
to get
again.
your blood flowing. Yeah.
And it was like, oh my god! And then I got sick as fuck.
Yeah,
like just
it's like thick. It like balls up for a little while. Like you feel it before it like really spreads out. It sucks.
So. Yeah, anthrax was that was. I mean, because like we got fucking everything, and then I hated the TB shots too, like the tests that you get here.
That they have to give you. Yeah,
a little, and it balls up, and then if it keeps balled up, you got to go in and see them again. But it's like I just fucking.
Yeah, they got to go actually give you a test, like an advanced test to see if you have it.
How many fucking needles I've been poked with? But yeah, the only one that really bothered me was the fucking giving blood. That thing was just, I don't know what it was psychologically. It's just.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, like I said, I prefer to keep it on the inside where it belongs.
Yeah. But again, hopefully it helps somebody.
I'll probably. You should go donate more because they want, they pay you a lot of money for it if you're an O. So.
Negative is especially because like
if you go positive, to like they want plasma. If you donate plasma and blood, because you could do blood and plasma at the same time, they'll give you like $120 a visit, and if you donate like 4 times in a month, you get they give you like a $500 bonus or something like that.
Yeah, so you'd
be making $1,000 a month, Mike, selling your blood,
dude. If I was gonna, Ryan, stop that shit, or I'm gonna fucking get rid of you. I'm not dealing with that kind of shit.
And he's not even saying it right either, so that's also
dumb. It's not funny. It's just fucking dumb. Stop it. There, you got your fucking attention. You got your shout out. But I would actually give blood again.
It's free money, Mike. Come on, it's free money.
Well, I would do it for free. That's what I'm saying. Is like I would do it for free.
Oh, but they're paying you for it, which makes it better. So.
Well, nah, I'd probably. Because of the fact that it's O positive is like really in demand, but that's like you can give it to 75% of people.
Yeah.
And me, it's like anybody can benefit from it. So
should go do it. Save
Jesus
the world,
Christ.
Mike. Be a hero. Be a real hero. Come on now.
Be a real hero.
Be a real hero.
Yep.
But you could actually get thanked for your service and stuff, right?
No. I would do this just. Oof.
But, yeah. But there's something definitely weird. Like I'm with you. Like I like to kind of watch it coming out, but like I know there's a lot of people that can't do that. And like something about it, like something in my brain knows you're all right, but this is fucked up, and we don't feel good about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
And my brain was like, "No, you need to stop this right now." How you're gonna stop this is we're gonna make you pass out.
Yep. yeah.
I never did pass out though. Never did pass out.
Yeah. It's kind of like, like when you put something in your mouth, even though it's like good food, but your body's never like had it before, and your body's like, we're gonna be sick.
Yep.
And you have to fight it, and you're like, no, this is food. Calm down.
The first fucking IV I ever got in basic was from a guy that was really young, like I was. Had the shakes because he was nervous.
Yeah.
And then he finally got the stick, right? After fucking with my arm for a while. He finally got the stick. And then I hear the drill sergeant go, "You didn't bleed the line of air? You just killed your fucking battle buddy." And I look at the line and like I see the water coming down and the whole line of air like went into my veins. And I was just like,
yeah, I almost passed the same thing right to your fucking brain. Yeah.
Same thing, but I mean, that wasn't enough lethal shit. But I didn't know at the time, and and the drill sergeant's like fucking doing that and making him panic.
Yeah,
and he's like, and he's like, "You just fucking killed your battle buddy," and I'm like,
Yeah, well, if you get too much air in the line, that'll fucking kill you. You'll have
Well, it
like
was
an
the whole
aneurysm
line.
or something.
It
Yeah.
was the whole line, but it actually isn't enough.
Yeah. Well, they purposely do that, but like, yeah, it's if you get enough air into your veins and stuff like that, it will kill you.
I bled the line like we were supposed to. He was so panicked that he didn't fucking remember that. But I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. Like I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
And then it turned out okay. Obviously, I'm still here, but yeah, it's just like Jesus Christ.
You just have a bunch of air moving around in one of your
When I was
veins.
terrified of needles and we went into basic, like I was like terrified of needles.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't think there's too much I've read. I mean, I really don't like chemicals and I really don't like radiation, which means the military is probably a really bad line of work because the chemicals they always use are very questionable.
Right.
But radiation, I wasn't too worried about. But like the chemicals, I was like really worried about. Like I was always questioning the shots they were giving me and stuff, you know?
Yep.
But and being exposed to like something because you hear about all the commercials, you know, it's like, oh, if you were in the military 20 years ago and you have super cancer now, you're entitled to it. You know, I was like, that's gonna be me. Like they can't not be me, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. And that's like where I was sitting for the longest time was like, I don't think I can do this because of all the fucking questionable chemicals the military uses.
Yeah, it's yeah, and then yeah. Anyway, well, I think we should call the stream because fucking Weasel Horse has to apparently go out and piss or shit or both.
For sure.
I shoot the shit for a while on here or Discord.
Yeah, we can do some Discord. We haven't done that in a while.
About till 8.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Then I'll get off and go to bed.
You mean you get off to the image of me in my
passing out from IVs, maybe.
No, I never did completely, but it was the cunt
you
hair
did in
way.
my imagination. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't. Then you just take advantage. My asshole's completely relaxed. Just.
Yep. Oh god.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for the super chat. Kong chats.
Thanks. 2 super chats.
I said chats. I corrected myself. So, if you haven't already, go check out my website. I've got a bunch of new shit on there, and it's selling out really fucking fast. I haven't even made the YouTube video on it yet. So.
Yep. And donate to Patreons and all that other good stuff. We appreciate it.
The Patreons, yes.
The Patreons.
Oh yeah, Devin. So yeah, I do need to talk to you for a few minutes after we get off the stream because it's some cool shit. But all right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you probably on Wednesday.
Sounds like a plan.